Next up, Tad's mom teaches reading to children and is fascinated with the brain and how we learn. She is always telling him about recent research, so he took inspiration from her on this researched speech. It's 5 to 7 minutes, and it's entitled, Be Bored.
For the first 20 seconds of my speech, I'm going to stand up here and do absolutely nothing. Now, if you were to talk to my son, what I just did was an exquisite form of torture. Because doing nothing is agonizing. Those of you who are parents have probably heard it. Dad, I'm so bored. I'm so bored. Think of something for me to do. Oh, I'm going to not answer that. And lucky for us, we all have never be bored again devices. So we don't have to go through that exquisite form of torture. I go to the doctor and I have to wait in the waiting room, then in the special room. And, oh, good. Never have to be bored again. I'm standing in line. Time to pull out the phone. Even in the bathroom, not me personally, but I've seen this quite a bit. I got some free time. Hey, time to pull out the phone. In fact, this phone is pretty fun. And if you think about it, it's a lot like a slot machine. It's colorful, it's enticing, and you get an irregular payout when you use it. I wonder what's going on Facebook. Pulled the arm on the slot machine. Nothing. Bust. What's Trump up to right now? Pull the arm on the slot machine. No new news. Wonder if I got an email. Pull that arm on the slot machine. Hey, I got some email. But instead of the payout being coins or tokens, the payout happens right here in your brain. There's a chemical called dopamine that gets released when you get a hit on your phone. And it says, good job, you. You did something. So every time you win, you get a reward. Not bad. You got You've got a dopamine slot machine that you can carry around with you in your pocket to pull out at any time you want. And sure, it's a mild addiction, but it's better than being bored, right? Well, let me tell you about a couple of research studies that I've recently read about boredom and about creativity. The first one was done by Sandy Mann and Rebecca Chadman at the University of Lancaster. And they wanted to study the effects of boredom on divergent thinking. And divergent thinking is something like this. I give you a paperclip and you say how many things you could do with that paperclip. You say, I could bend it into a tool, or I could keep two papers together, or, I've lost my tie tack, I could keep my shirt tied to my tie with that paperclip. So it's just how many different things can you come up with? They took their participants and they divided them into the control group and they divided them into the experimental group. The experimental group, they had to do something incredibly boring. They said, we want you to write down to copy phone numbers out of the phone book. The other group didn't have to do that. Then they gave each group tests of their divergent thinking, and the control group did worse than the experimental group. In fact, the experimental group, who was subjected to this very boring task did much better. They thought, wonder if we could make it even more boring. So they repeated the study, and this time, instead of copying numbers out of the phone book, you had to read the phone book out loud. You know, hey, Nancy Jones, 45634 da 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 da. And they did the same comparison again. This time, the group who had read out of the phone book, did an even more boring task, scored even higher, significantly higher than all the other groups before. So, second study. This one is about convergent thinking. They found, let me back up. So convergent thinking is trying to find associations and bring things together. So if I were to say Cache Valley, goat, and string, you'd be like, whoa, what do those have in common? And you'd be like, oh, cheese, right? So the second group did an experiment. It was, I'm trying to think. The name suddenly escapes me. It was two researchers at the University of Pennsylvania, Lisa Gasper and Brianna Middlewood did this experiment. They showed one group a very, very boring video, and they didn't do anything with their control group. And they had them do this divergent thinking task. And it turns out the people who were incredibly bored did incredibly well at divergent thinking. So now when my son says, oh man, Dad, I am so bored, I say to him, that's amazing, that's so good, I'm so excited for you. I wonder what you can think up. And I challenge you guys, the next time that you go to reach for your dopamine slot machine, maybe just put it back in your pocket and let yourself be bored. Thank you.